3. It's not too much whatchamacallit. Now OP stands for One Piece, overpowered or original post. Not much happened, but kind of. Very first thing I do want to mention that I appreciate was episode 2 ended with them shooting at Zoro and Luffy getting in between the bullets. And he was like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "I'm Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm going to be king of the pirates." First thing that I liked was the fact that it started with that scene. That's how episode 2 ended. Episode 3 starts off with that scene, but it's reanimated. Like they just did it again. They reanimated it differently. I like that. I just like that. I appreciate it. Like it's the same scene. It picks up where the second one left off, but they reanimated it differently. I appreciated that. So then, Luffy goes to, you know, fight Captain Morgan, and it's some cool little whatchamacallit. Luffy does a gum kick and knocks out all the Marines. And then Captain Morgan's like, okay, yeah, he's one of the, he's some of like the devil fruit or whatever. And he kind of sort of, he doesn't explain the entire thing, but he gives more context to what is the devil's fruit. So not technically, then it does like, this is B-roll footage. So if you study any type of like cinematography or whatever, there's A-roll footage and there's B-roll footage. A-roll footage is this, me sitting here telling you this and the third, you see me talking. B-roll footage is if I was to put it on the screen. And then like you can see what I'm sitting here talking about. That's B-roll footage. So, but yeah, it's stuff like that. So Captain Morgan starts talking about just a little bit the devil's fruit, and then it shows like this infographic. It goes into like a cross or a T, and I'm not sure if it means too much of whatever, but I'm not sure, like, how do I say this? Some of them looked bigger. Some of the fruit looked bigger than others. Like, it was making this formed into a T, and some looked smaller. So I'm not sure if that was, like, on purpose or if it was just for, like, that little part. Like, is one of the fruit more dangerous or more powerful than another type of thing? I don't know. And I can only remember one. Something, he was like, if you eat one of the fruit, you could, like, breathe fire. And the other one was, like, calling tsunamis or something. I should go back and get that. That was the first time they talked about. In the first one, they mentioned the devil fruit. In this one, Captain Morgan did the same thing. Oh yeah, he must be one of them. He must have ate part of the devil's fruit. They do that whole thing. But they gotta untie Zoro still, and Zoro's like, "Yo, get me out of here. Just give me my swords." He was like, he's like, "I got 3 swords. I didn't know which one was yours." He was like, "They're all mine. I used the Sorotoro method or something like that." And he's like, "Just get me out of here." And Luffy was like, "You're either gonna have to fight with me against the Marines, and then you'll just be a criminal, so you might as well join my crew, or they're gonna kill you right here on the whatchamacallit, and this and the third." So he was like, "All right, yeah, I'm gonna be a criminal anyway. You know what I'm saying?" And so Luffy was like, "Yay, you'll join my crew. Good." They get him out of there. And so Luffy, the Marines come back and try to whatchamacallit. Zorro, I'm not sure what the Marines are about to like come. They were like, they were about to get on Kobe. Zorro like stops it, blocks it, and then uh, Luffy hits Captain Morgan. They're like, oh no, he hit him. Captain Morgan throws off his cape. So one thing I wanted to mention about whatchamacallit, because it doesn't have like complex animation. It is very simple. And I'm saying that to say like when Captain Morgan threw off his coat, his cape, like he may be sitting there like da 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 something like that, but he's not moving. But the cape will be moving behind him, and like he threw off his cape, and the cape is like moving behind him, type of thing. But he's just standing still, or like they'll do a little thing like an animation like yay, and like nobody's moving, but like the sound is there. Like it has simple animation, is what I'm trying to say. Like, but it's still like it's still appreciated, it's still good. So like these are the things I talk about. Like just I don't know. It's not it's simple animation, but this one's a different type of simple because I didn't appreciate the simplicity of Primal. But Primal doesn't have also doesn't have dialogue. There's a lot of anyway. So going from there, I know Luffy. He Captain Morgan does something with the axe and time for you to die, and Luffy spins and is like, not today. He gives him another little kick or whatever. But there was supposed to be something else. Captain Morgan's son he's like, Captain Morgan's like, hey, don't you see me? I have a hostage here. I think he's gonna be important to you. No. And Captain Morgan's son has a gun to Kobe's head. And Kobe was like, you know what? Whatever happens to me, don't let that affect whatever you got going on, what you want to do. And so Luffy was like, you hear that? Kobe's ready to die. Kobe's ready to die. And then, so at the same time, Captain Morgan goes to swing his axe at Luffy, and Luffy goes to punch Captain Morgan's son. And when the axe is like above Luffy's head, Captain Morgan's like, "Rrr, rrr," like, so basically Zoro took out Captain Morgan and Luffy knocked out Captain Morgan's son. And so it was like, boom. And then so Zoro also says that his goal, so Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. Zoro, Roro Zoro, his goal is to be the greatest swordsman. And he was like, listen, if for some reason I don't get to make up to be the greatest swordsman, then you got to take on the responsibility. So that's their two goals. Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. Roro Zoro wants to be the greatest swordsman. And so after Zoro took out Captain Morgan, Luffy was like, thanks. And he was like, no problem, Captain. And it was like, all right, cool. Zoro is now has officially become a part of Luffy's crew. And I think, then it goes to the girl. Still don't know who the girl name is or what she got going on. The girl from the first episode, again, she popped up in the last episode because she was like, somebody's rocking the boat here, this and third. I don't know why she's sneaking around. Actually, she just came and she thinks she's looking for a map of the Grand Line or something like that. The Grand Line, I think, is where you can help. It's supposed to be like a map to help you find like the One Piece, the treasure or something like that. So she was looking through like the Marine base for that map. She's like, where? Can't find it. She opens up a little locker and she's like, oh, it's right here. But when she opens it up, she was like, this isn't such and such. She's like, this is about, then she mentions Beanie. She says some type of name, but it's like, from what I can kind of guess, it's a clown. I forget the name she says, but she was like, "Oh, this is such and such," and I think it's like a clown. What else I want to say about that? And I forget what she was trying to say about him or describe him as. She was like, "Something. It's a clown. Something that I don't know." But from this episode is also called uh, Luffy versus Morgan, and then who's the mysterious pretty girl. So it showed her again, and then I think then it went to commercial. I think that's the like middle half of it. I think that's the middle half of it. So not a lot happened, but I just know I appreciated the fact that they reanimated that scene. They picked up from where they last off last time, reanimated it, showed it from like different perspective angles, whatever. We go through that whole little thing. Zoro says, "No problem, Captain." You know, he accepts Luffy as whatever. I'm kind of also like, I don't know, these are the type of things where I don't like, how do I say? Like I have an idea, but I'm pretty sure somebody's already done it. Maybe, maybe not. But like, mind you, because it's like, if I am gonna do it, it would be like, you should do it now. So Luffy has the gum gum rocket. Like he has that whole thing. And so it's like, I should make a compilation of that. Gum gum rocket. I should just make a little Luffy compilation for that. I'm only on episode 3, so it'd be easier to watch McCall. And then when I get to episode 100, I'm like, oh, I should have been did this, but I don't know. I just thought about it. Like, I think that I think that's kind of cool. Gum gum, rocket. He be doing that, bro. So that is, well, I'm halfway through episode 3. Going to get towards, we'll see what the rest of this episode is. I'm assuming the title of the episode is Luffy versus Morgan, who's the mysterious pretty girl. So I'm assuming that Luffy is finally going to talk to the girl because he saw her at the end of episode 1. He hasn't seen her yet so far at the Marine base. Because there's also the other part that, like, in my head, my mind, I may be thinking too much about it, but why is she always, like, the boat thing was just happened. But how and why did she also end up at the, the Marine base at the same